Hey YouTube, it's Joe Donohue here. I got a special guest with me to commentate today, Race 4 of Clean Coal Endurance Series Season 2. Racing Nation TV is alongside me today.
Hey guys.
Racing Nation TV has been to this track a lot of times, so he is our expert for the track today. We want to let's run through our starting lineup for you really quick so that we can be done with it. Pole sitter is Graham Riley.
Next is Weston Miller.
Then we have David Land, who's won 2 races in a row now.
Then we have Chris Aurelio.
Oh, I don't know who that guy is, but he's...
No clue.
No clue. Then we have Kyler Boggs starting 6th in prototypes.
Then we have Mr. Cubby 3 in the Audi number 2.
Pole sitter, Kyle Thomas for GT.
Then we have Matt Faust.
Starting 3rd is Dominic Farnbacher.
And then we have Ed Jones, I believe his name is. Okay.
Good job. Richard Lights. That car's maybe not be open, maybe taken, I don't know. This race is pre-recorded, so if someone signed up in race 3, then it's taken, and if not, then it's not. Yeah.
Then we have Patrick Long.
Ian Perez in whatever position this is.
Then we have Kenneth Bueno.
Brian LaFleur Jr. This is 9th, I know, because Dirk Muller did not qualify. Silly goose. Anyway, Racing Nation TV, what do we plan on expecting from these cars on this short yet exciting track?
It's gonna be a scramble into turn 1. Big Bend is what it's called. Because Big Bend is very close to the start-finish line, so right after the start, you're gonna have cars scrambling for position. Otherwise, it's a 10-minute race, so it should be really close together, and I think it'll be a good one.
Indeed. Now we now cut out. We're gonna take a look at the highlight reel of the DTM race that occurred prior to this one, and we'll come back with the start. The DTM race took over the course of 6 laps to complete. Land Speed Racing absolutely dominating the season. Sato Donohue and Pichu London started on the front row. Christian Vitoris got 3rd, and as you can see, he gave him a little bit of a scare off the start, but into Big Bend, Christian Vitoris did not have enough to get past either of them, and Sato Donohue took a huge lead over the remaining 9 cars in the field. As you see him coming through, the only left-hander on the track, just continuously gaining time on the rest of the field, except Pichu London, who started moving a little bit quicker to get up to his teammate. Coming up the no-name straight, even though it's not a straight. As you cut ahead, you see Ryan Ottle, 3016, whatever you want to call it. He was doing very well. He was moving quick throughout the entirety of the race, making passes and catching up to the guys who were in front of him at the separate times. Nothing happened throughout the course of the race, so just cut straight to the finish here. Sato Donohue came across the line first and won for the 2nd time in a row. Ryan Ottle made it into 2nd. Christian Vitoris got 3rd. Pichu London finished 4th. And rounding out the top 5 was Tyler Williams for Faust Racing Incorporated. Yeah. So we return now. We were having a conversation, but it's getting a little close to the start, and they're going to start racing soon, so we're going to cut back in. 10-minute race. It's underway, as you can't see. There they are.
As you can see that scramble there into turn 1 Big Bend, like I predicted.
And it is indeed a scramble, but it's kind of slowing out. Matt Faust and Graham Riley are the 2 leaders, right? Where's Graham? There he is.
There he goes up the no-name straight, even though it's not really straight, that's what they call it. Up the uphill. I wonder if we're going to see cars getting air right there.
It looks like we're seeing a little bit of air underneath the cars, but what I'm more interested in is back here, even though everybody's... Oh, shit. Look out. Weston Miller's around.
Weston Miller?
Oh, my God. Look out.
Did you just collect anyone? Oh,
ooh.
That's Mr. Cubby 3. I think he collected him.
That was... Yeah, that was...
Not too sure.
A lot of interesting stuff. Weston Miller, he collected both of the Audis. Mr. Cubby 3 into the pits. That's how that starts. I kind of knew that was going to happen based off of the occurrences last year. We had a big incident there in the first turn. Yeah.
Tough luck for them.
Yeah, it's a early going incident, which is it's better than having an incident late. Got a couple GT cars who have damage too. But it's the race leader for GT, Matt Faust, has damage. So we're going to have to wait and see if he pits. Or spins. That works too. Eee, that's a lot of crashing going on.
Just down the downhill, you get a pile up right there.
That loss of downforce that Matt Faust had for not having the front bumper, it just induced carnage there. We'll have to see if
that is a very tough corner. I know it's flat out in a prototype. I'm not too sure about GT. They may have to lift a little bit, but
I think you do have to lift in a GT car, and I don't think that they are, which is what's probably causing them to have such trouble.
there we have Chris Aurelio. Whoa, getting loose right before the downhill.
He does make it though, and that's the biggest thing, is just getting through this race, because as you can see, the guys kind of have trouble with that. So, Racing Nation TV, here's a little question. Where do you think is the best place to sit to see the race at Lime Rock?
Well, because I've been there about 10 times, or maybe 8 or 9, the last time I went there in 2013 was the uphill to the left of the straightaway, the start-finish straight. That was a pretty good viewing area, but all the other years we were down in the S's right after Big Bend, which also is a very great viewing area because you can see the cars scramble out of Big Bend, all struggling for position. So that's a great part to sit at. But overall, because it's a very small track and because there are bridges where you can walk over, you pretty much have the ability to walk all around the track and just see all the different viewing areas. So that's a great part about Lime Rock.
That is one thing that I personally know is good about racetrack, is when you have the ability to walk around and see different parts of the track. I mean, when I was at the 6 hours at the Glen, I think we walked like 5 miles that whole day, but it's a bigger track and Lime Rock isn't as big, and that's kind of a good thing about that would be that, you have access to getting across it a lot quicker, as there's more carnage.
We have Mr. Cuppy 3 with even more damage. He goes around.
Graham Riley spun. He was leading the race when he spun right there, but he's not anymore. The new leader is Chris Aurelio, which is not surprising. The Porsches have been doing a really good job in prototype so far this season. They are a little bit more acclimated to these racetracks that we're starting the season off with. They won't necessarily be as good at the end because there are differences, but for now, Chris Aurelio has an advantage.
It'll be great to see if he can win at his home race.
Yeah, it will. All he has to do is stay clean, and that's not how you do that, but
Dominic Farnbacher there.
Silly Dom. So, I believe we're halfway, almost. Oh, sheesh kebabs. Kenneth Bueno stopped.
Damage stopped at the bottom of the downhill.
Dominic Farnbacher just got off and on his own. Wait, whoa, what the heck? Kenneth Bueno, I gotta find him. Hang on. He pitted, I guess. That was weird. I didn't think he dove into the pits. I thought he dove the other way, but whatever. You can never really trust an rFactor track. Sometimes the people who make the track don't make them super good. You just kind of hope that the track you're using is good enough. Yeah.
So we're about halfway, I'd say, done with the race.
We are at this point. And we also, Kenneth Bueno is out of the race. He has to officially retire. I guess that's not a surprise. Chris Aurelio takes a little...
going for a spin there.
Takes a little bit of a spin. That's okay. He doesn't lose much time. He's going to pit because he's got damage. You can see it right there. He's missing the front port. Oh, I thought he was pitting. He's not pitting. He's passing Weston Miller. How about GTE? Where are we at with that? Eddie Jones is leading. You can't really say enough about Eddie Jones. He's been in like every racing series I've had for the last few years. So I give him credit for being probably the biggest follower of my channel for the past while.
I am a little bit surprised. I figured we'd see some Porsches up front in GT as well, but looks like that's not what's going to happen.
The Porsches haven't been doing as good as the prototype Porsches have been doing a lot better than the GT Porsches. Ian Perez is in second now, which means he just kind of stayed out of trouble the whole time. But yeah, it's a good point.
And one thing to note, if you ever have the chance of going to Lime Rock Park, the two bridges that are around the track, during the race, I don't care what race it is, Pirelli World Challenge, two-door, anything, you have to stand in the middle of that bridge and just see the cars fly underneath you, especially the start-finish straight bridge. You can see the cars fly underneath you at 180 miles an hour. It's really something to see.
What is it like?
There's like a gap in the bridge and you can see right below it, and the cars just fly only like 12 feet below your feet. Especially back in the day when you had the Aston Martin V12 Lola, to stand 12 feet above that and hear it go flying and screaming right beneath you was really something.
Yeah, I remember that. That was
the muscle milk car. That's what I called it, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it had the muscle part of the muscle. Yeah. Muscle. So, I think another thing that we're going to point out here is that Chris Aurelio is coming out of the pits from getting his damage repaired, and that put Eddie Jones leading the race overall. So we have a GT car leading the entire field. Hey,
I mean, that just shows how unpredictable Lime Rock really is.
It's a crazy race. It induces some good action for watching, as we have more people who have retired both of the Audis. I don't know why. You guys shouldn't have done that. Kyler Boggs and Mr. Cuppy 3. Mr. Cuppy 3's got a lot of damage right there. You can see it right there. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As that's happened. But we are closing to the end of this race. I think we're going to get the white flag this time by. If you can see, it says 9 out of 10 minutes. And
we have GT cars 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe.
Yes, sir. And
both Porsches are leading in the prototype class.
Mm-hmm. As that is the white flag lap there. And we'll see, David Land has a pretty big lead over Chris Aurelio, so he might make it 3 in a row. But Ed Jones can try to hold Ian Perez. We're going to watch this. This looks interesting.
Trying to think of what car has the straight line advantage, which would be helpful right at this part right here, the no-name straight, but
I don't know. I think it might be the Porsche because of how big the Viper is in the front.
You can see Weston Milligan stuck behind both of them.
Yeah, he is not in a position that you'd want to be in right now, but that's, his race is kind of not as much into it as these two. Ed Jones really loose coming down the hill, but he held it, and he's going to get onto the straightaway. I think he's got the win in the bag.
Yeah, he's got this.
So Ed Jones comes across the line and will win here at Lime Rock. Now we're going to jump to prototype as David Land is passing the two BMWs, and David Land is going to win also at Lime Rock.
Really surprising that I see a GT overall win. That is very, very rare in sports car racing.
It is. It happened in 2003 at the 24 Hours of Daytona. You remember that?
No.
Oh. Yeah.
I didn't really start watching sports car racing until, I'd say, 2008, when I went to my first sports car race, which was actually at this track, by the way. So I've been going to Lime Rock since 2008.
Well, we're glad we could have you for such a special racetrack. So the rest of the field gets past the line. Weston being silly. And
Front wing gone there, I think.
yeah, he's got some damage. That's okay. It's kind of been like that the whole race. Now, I guess now we've calmed down enough, we can go through our final order and get some final words on what Racing Nation TV has to say about what happened today. Your overall winner is Eddie Jones. Congrats, dude.
Next is Ian Perez.
Getting third, Brian LaFleur Jr. He's been having a pretty solid performance with that Corvette. I think he's the points leader in GT, but I'm not really 100% sure.
And then you have David Land, the winning prototype car.
Derek Muller is in 5th overall, 4th in class. He is doing pretty good, I guess.
Then you have Graham Riley.
Chris Aurelio gets 3rd. He lost some time. It's unfortunate because, you know, you always want the home guy to win. At least I do. Some people prefer away teams, but that's more of a reference to, like, other sports when there's 2 teams. Anyway.
Weston Miller is in, I forget what position it is, but he is behind Chris Aurelio.
He's in 4th in class. 8th overall. The 8's in 8th. Dominic Farnbacher is wherever he is.
Then Patrick Long.
Then Richard Lights.
I forgot his name.
Kyle Thomas.
Kyle Thomas, there you go.
Yeah, he's actually new. Like some of these guys, like Matt Faust, for example, you should be able to. A lot of people. He's been around for a while, but Kyle Thomas is not. Nor has Kenneth Bueno, but he's getting around. Yeah, as you can see, he's getting around.
Then you have, I forgot his name too.
He's new as well. It's okay.
Tyler Boggs.
Yay.
I had to look at my list there.
Yay. And then Mr. Cuppy 3, as you can see, he lost a wheel. It's unfortunate that the Audis have been doing so poorly because, you know, in the real world, they don't do poorly. Except for they got beat this year by Porsche, which is
Don't say it.
good.
Don't say that.
Yes. Porsche. Yeah. I like Porsche.
I mean, now he's dominating the rest of the season, but anyway, enough talking about WEC.
Yeah, this is not that. This is clean coal. That's the end of the race. Racing Nation TV, what did you think of today's performance by our field of pro drivers?
Well, I definitely wasn't expecting a GT overall, but I also didn't expect all of the incidents that happened on track, all the crashes, all the broken parts. But overall, I think it was a pretty good race, pretty action-packed, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
That's a pretty good rating for the race. And that will conclude our broadcast. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. Subscribe to Racing Nation TV. He makes stuff sometimes.
Sometimes. I haven't made a video in over a month, but I'm close to 200 subscribers, so.
Hey, as long as you're happy, you know?
Yeah, I gotta make a video soon, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. There's a playlist on my channel of all the videos in this season series and last year's series if you want to check out more. One more thanks for watching. We'll see you next time when we're in Kailami. I think we're going to Kailami next time. So we'll see you there.